Welcome to Tales from the Streets.
Here's what our narrator has to say. My father was a careful man. He lived his life conscious of the fact that in old age, your body will give you back what you had sowed into it over the years. So he was mindful of the food he ate, ensured he exercised daily, and played squash every week, especially after he turned 40 some 25 years ago. He took his vitamins seriously and did workout. We used to make fun of him. It was as if he was just carefully avoiding death. You should have seen the way he would scream at his driver anytime he exceeded the agreed speed limit, which was between 60 to 80 kilometers per hour, even on the expressway. It was really crazy the way my father panicked every time his driver even came close to brushing another car. Tell me, how do you drive in crazy Lagos and never brush another driver? That was my dad for you. No late nights because he worried that our policemen could mistake you for a thief, and he was security conscious all the times. He had a perimeter light fencing around the house and cameras too, as well as dogs. Our house was his haven. He built it to have everything in it: swimming pool with barbecue spots, squash and basketball courts, small movie theater. You know, we always had friends and family coming to visit or stay, or even live with us. That was an all-embracing man. He built a big house not just for himself, but virtually for all friends and family. But you see, on the other hand, Dad became a different man whenever he was abroad for holidays or his annual medical exam. He didn't display any of the inhibitions we saw when he's at home. My dad wasn't worried about security, and he didn't even have dogs in our London home. Daddy didn't panic about the roads. He took the bus and tube to wherever he wanted to go, and many times came home late, either from visiting friends or just enjoying the night. My dad was a widower. We lost our mom to cancer many years before. Now you ask, will I describe Daddy as paranoid? Yes, I think he was. I mean, in the sense that he was just not keen on having to go to the hospital here in Nigeria because he didn't trust our medical facilities here. So he always went to London for yearly general exam. He did it religiously for more than 30 years. And yes, there were benefits to this kind of lifestyle. He looked fit. He looked healthy. He could pass for a man of 40 even though he was 65. I recall my friends teasing me and saying my dad looked like my elder brother. So what killed Dad? My dad was killed by a kid, a mere boy. It was our church's anniversary, 20th anniversary. Dad was one of the volunteers. A lot had been packed into the 3-hour church program, and Dad, being the one who designed the stage, was in charge of lighting. They were putting finishing touches on the stage before the event when they discovered that some plugs or cables were needed to give it the desired effect that the stage was missing. I think Dad forgot to bring it out from the car, so he went to the car park to get it. Now, the church uses the school in Bagada as a car park. It was some distance from the church, and so Dad hurried off but didn't get to the car. He stumbled on 3 gang boys, who were fighting in Bariga. You know Bariga and Bagada share a border. Anyway, the boys were being chased by a small crowd. I think the rival cult group. And these boys were quite young, teenagers between the ages of 16 and 19, as I later found out in the police report. They panicked when they saw Dad in front of them. But I didn't know what they were escaping from. He didn't know they were trying to get away from a crowd. He just saw some 3 boys running, so he waited for them to run past him. They thought he was challenging them. They fired a shot and he hit Dad at close range. Then they ran off. Dad didn't die immediately. He fought. Somehow, someone recognized him and so rushed to the church to inform us, and we quickly carried him to the car, then straight to the nearest hospital in Bagada. 2 hospitals rejected him. All we wanted was first aid, something to slow down the flow of blood from him. But he was a gunshot victim and they wouldn't touch him. So we decided to take him to our own hospital on the island. By this time, Dad had lost so much blood. The way he was even being carried was wrong, you know. There was no stretcher, nothing, just 3 people holding him hand and foot, me included. We were desperate and scared out of our wits. So we didn't realize that we were hurting him as we carried him to the hospital. On our way, Dad said he couldn't feel some parts of his body. I thought that was because he was losing so much blood. I think Dad knew he would not survive, and so began to tell me how much he loved us, that there were 3 of us. He told me he had put aside some savings for us, and he told me where he put them. Sorry, I'm being emotional. Anyway, by the time we got to the hospital in Victoria Island, he was already gasping for breath. He was fighting hard for his life. He stared at me like he wanted to say something, but no word came out. Then the nurses and doctors took over, and I was asked to go to the reception to wait. Dad was taken into surgery immediately. Some 5 minutes later or thereabouts, I felt something cold, like an icy finger touch me. I knew then that my dad had passed. I didn't need any doctor to tell me. I knew that my dad was on his way to heaven.
If you enjoyed the story, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.